The Minister of Transport, Rotimi Amaechi, is our guest tonight on Hard Copy, and he's been taking questions on his work as minister and also on the political situation in the country. Well, I'm going to ask you this one very quickly. Are you corrupt?
Is my honesty in doubt? I have told Nigerians, I repeat today to Nigerians, I'm not corrupt and that I don't like money. I'm not one swayed by money. I've lived a character that most Nigerians can tell you. I try as much as possible not to annoy God by saying I'm honest. But with all modesty, I'm an honest Nigerian. And there are very few honest Nigerians.
Why do people keep having that impression?
When did that impression start? Yes, Wike becomes the governor, takes documents from government house that people can't read. And say, oh, we sold gas turbines and we disappeared with the money. He set up a panel of inquiry, published the report.
Do you think it comes from the fact that you led the campaign organization of President Buhari?
No, well, then you talk about the PDP angle to it. They are bitter that we fought and led the movement against the former government and PDP, and we are successful to have removed PDP in power. Ask yourself one question. Let me ask you this question again. If I was corrupt, why didn't President Goodluck prosecute me? The fight between Goodluck and Rivers State government or myself lasted for 2 years.
You were immune as a governor.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
You had immunity.
For Christ's sake. Adamawa governor had immunity and they removed him. So it's about, take the Adamawa one for instance. They went after the innocent man for nothing. For nothing. They went after him. They were coming for me. They were coming for me. Even in the case of the Adamawa government, they had no facts. The court has overruled it or did not restore him as
the question, how is it that you were able to fund the 2015 presidential elections?
Clap for yourself. You have evidence that I funded the 2015 election.
You led the campaign.
Leading the campaign does not mean you funded the election.
So where did you get the funds from?
You need to ask the Buhari campaign organization. There were contributions from everywhere. Everybody contributed. There were people. This is the woman who had to work to give Buhari her last savings. Nigerians wanted change. The level of corruption was very high. So Nigerians wanted to contribute to remove that government. Now, you know, including you, I believe that Nigerians owe me a lot. When I sit in my house, I believe Nigerians owe me a lot. First, we saved this country from that level of corruption. Corruption where you see $50 million at Osborne Street. And those who shared in the corruption are busy dancing about it. Femi Fani-Kayode, when he was Minister of State, Minister of Aviation, Dr. Peter Odili's government gave him 2 billion naira to fix the runway. It's not there on the record of aviation. I'm the Minister of Transportation, I have that record. It's not there. He went away with the 2 billion naira.
Are those allegations that you're making against him?
I'm not making allegations. I'm saying statement of fact. I'm Minister for Transportation. Dr. Peter Odili, I was Governor of Rivers State. In writing, Cabinet approved, handed over 2 billion naira to Femi Fani-Kayode to fix the runway, Rivers State, the runway at the Port Harcourt Airport that was closed for 2 years. And Femi Fani-Kayode left with the money. Is that the kind of character I will speak to? That's not the kind of character. We are not on the same level.
Will you make the facts available to us?
Tomorrow morning. As Minister for Transportation, I give it tomorrow morning. There's no evidence anywhere in the Ministry of Transportation to show that 2 billion naira was transferred by the Rivers State government to Aviation to go and fix the airport. The man left with the money.
Well, Minister Amaechi, I'm going to ask for that, evidence of that
I said tomorrow morning. Just come, I'll take you to Aviation.
Well, President Buhari's health is now a subject of controversy. And I'm sure that you'll be concerned as DG of his campaign, for the 2015 elections. He's rarely seen in public these days. But his aides say that he's recovering, he's doing okay, and he shouldn't be ruled out for the 2019 elections. Is this something that you're optimistic of?
Of course. If you watch the president the first day he came back to now, you'll see that there's a huge improvement in terms of the weight he's regained, beginning to regain his weight and all that. And I tell Nigerians, you see, this is a 74-year-old man. He's no longer a 58-year-old man. He's no longer 50. He's not like a very young man. Now, what should concern Nigeria is whether he provides good leadership. That's what should concern Nigerians. Has he kept to his campaign promises? He made 3. All the rest things you're hearing are all propaganda, social media propaganda. Said I will fight insurgency, especially Boko Haram. That he has done successfully. He said he would improve on the economy. Right? And I think, which is the other one? Unemployment. Okay, so let's take the one after the other. We got into the country, got into government, the economy collapsed. Economy collapsed because of the total stealing. Nobody remembers that the president couldn't even move into the presidential lodge. There was literally no money to even run his government. Nobody could remember that he did not even form cabinet on time because he was looking, where do you even get the money to run government? Where do you get the money to even pay to run government? Where do you get the money to even pay ministers?
I'm asking you very quickly and very upfrontly, if you were to run in 2019, is this something you would advise?
I would advise that he should.
Despite his age and the medical issue he's been through in the last couple of weeks.
He's a human being. Every human being fall ill. You fall ill, I fall ill. Every human being. You're not God. Nobody decides how well you are. But the president is fit enough to govern. And if he makes that decision to run in 2019, if he does, I don't think there's anything wrong in supporting him.
So just let's quickly clarify this. When you said that Mr. Peter Odili, then governor of Rivers State, signed off 2 billion naira for Rivers.
As Rivers State government contribution to the construction of the runway that had collapsed in Port Harcourt at the Port Harcourt International Airport.
Was it to the Ministry of Aviation?
Yes.
Not to Mr. Femi Fani-Kayode?
No, to the Ministry of Aviation. And the man picked it and ran away. Is that the person I should speak to? This is not the first time China is talking about Femi Fani-Kayode. He's not a character for me to talk about. People should stop asking me about him.
With the former Minister for Aviation, Mr. Femi Fani-Kayode, and this is what he had to say about the allegation that he ran off with 2 billion naira River State contribution meant for the construction of the Port Harcourt runway.
Absurd allegation. First and foremost, I wasn't given any money by River State government. It was my predecessor in office that was given a loan by River State government. And the money was not paid to aviation, it was paid to FAN. It was a loan from the River State government to FAN, as I understand it. The amount was 2 billion naira. Professor Borishade was minister at the time, not me. And the money wasn't paid to the ministry, it was paid to FAN, to the FAN account. That is number one. Secondly, when the money was paid to FAN, FAN spent about 350 million naira out of it before I even became minister. That is, Borishade authorized that expenditure on the Port Harcourt runway. By the time I got into office, there was 1.6 billion naira of that money left in the FAN account. They told me about it. And what did we do with the money? We gave Julius Berger, and they're still alive and well, 1.5 billion out of that money. It's in my records. We paid them the money. They did the work. That was 50% payment up front for the airport runway. The airport runway was completed before I left office. It was commissioned about a month after we left office by Dizani, Alison Madweke, my successor in office. And we left 132 million naira in the FAN account for my successor in office, who again was Dizani, and then later Felix Hyatt. The records are there. So when he says, I was given, there's no evidence of payment to the ministry, it's quite possible that he hasn't accepted the fact or recognized the fact that no money was paid to the ministry by the River State government. Dr. Odili is still alive. They should ask him. It was paid to FAN.
Was it part of the allegations that you faced with the EFCC?
That's a good question. Every aspect of this, of my tenure in office throughout the time when we left, that is for what? About a year or two before I was prosecuted for 7 years. This was investigated, not just by the FCC. If you remember, there was a public hearing by the Senate, and I had to come up with all the facts and figures. My predecessor in office was there, my successor in office, everybody was there. We all had to account for what we did. And every penny that I was given as Minister of Aviation, I was given 11 billion naira for various projects. I spent 3.8 billion naira. I accounted for every penny, and I left 7.2 billion naira in the ministry's account from the intervention fund for my successor in office.
Why was it controversial then?
Well, it was controversial because of the kind of absurd allegations that people like Rotimi Amaechi and others made. And at the end of the day, there was absolutely nothing. If you remember, all charges against me on the intervention fund were thrown out. I wasn't prosecuted for anything to do with aviation. And what they prosecuted me for, we went at it for 7 years, and I was eventually acquitted. It had nothing to do with aviation.
So do you intend to sue him then?
Of course I'm going to sue him. I've consulted my lawyers. What he has said makes no sense. It is nonsensical. It is reflective of his diseased mind, like I said earlier. And I'm waiting for him. And you'll be hearing from my lawyers as early as Tuesday next week.
That's the night. Thank you for your mails and all your tweets in our last edition of Hard Copy. You too can send us your thoughts on the program. Our address, hardcopy@channelstv.com, and our Twitter handle is @CityVHardCopy. Thank you for watching. I'm Maokbe Ogun.